Hey, it's so bringing you the World of Warcraft. It is January 27th, 2017, and it is time for me to recap whatever the heck I missed this week. I've been pretty busy putting out stuff this week, so in case you missed it, here's the super quick recap. I took a look at some of the favorite fan-made classes that people have thought up, and I at least touched on some of the design philosophies that go behind that. In the near future, I'm going to present one of my ideas for a new class, and well, I'll be interested to see what you folks think. I asked myself a question out loud on whether or not I should be banking artifact power. The short answer is no, I shouldn't, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. I shared a list of all the add-ons that I use and a brief description about them, just to see if you guys would be interested in using them. By the way, during that video, I totally forgot to mention tidy plates, which is another good add-on to use if you care about having your nameplates up there. There's lots of options to it, and by default, it's pretty easy and simple to use anyway. And in my last video, I went over some old complaints that have been drummed up since the Legion Alpha and leading up to today. Some of these complaints and debates are still relevant, some not quite so much. So go ahead and check any of that stuff out if you missed it. And now for the news. Previously, I announced that Daybreak was going to cancel the Landmark game, which was supposed to support EverQuest Next. Kind of along those lines, one of EverQuest developers, Josh Augustine, he's going to be joining the World of Warcraft team. He's a senior game designer, and he's going to be joining the team as a quest designer, at least according to his LinkedIn. So maybe John is going to be replacing Craig Amai, who was the lead quest designer for World of Warcraft up until recently. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what he brings to the mix, although we're probably not going to see results of his work until probably the next expansion or so, but I'm still looking forward to it. This might be an answer to the criticism some players have about the Diablo 3 developers that seem to have influenced the direction that World of Warcraft has been going. So we'll keep a close eye out, and if nothing else, if there's something that you don't like about quest design, at least you have a name to hate on. The LFR and the Mythic versions of the Nighthold raid just opened up this week, and I am very happy to announce that as of this recording, no one's done yet. According to our progress, there are 8 guilds that have completed 7 out of 10 of the Mythic bosses. So this is nice. It looks like that there is a chance that Gul'dan might survive an entire reset. OMG. Obviously, this is a nice contrast to, I guess, the tier 0 raids. I'll call them, the tierless raids that were just kind of wiped out really quickly. Details are kind of sketch, but it looks like a rogue member of Method was somehow able to prevent Serenity's raid from doing mythic progression for a couple of hours. There was some finagling where this rogue member was able to get the raid ID of Serenity's raid and just kind of sat inside the instance and AFK'd while everyone was just waiting outside. It was kind of a mess. People were mad, tweets were flying all over the place, but eventually things were resolved. Part of the concern on that was whether or not that 2 or so hour time difference is going to be a huge detriment to Serenity. Since this happened about a day before this recording, I'm gonna guess that it wasn't that big of a deal. It does kind of suck though. Method went out and apologized. They kicked that rogue person out of their guild. But again, since there's still a ways to go till the Nighthold raid is finished, I think we're okay. But otherwise, the world first race kind of sucks, doesn't it? I mean, when you're in it, you're in it. You're there, you're doing 200 attempts on a boss before you bring it down. You're pounding coffee, you're on vacation, you abandon your wife and kids, screw them. Husbands too, sorry. But from the outside, it's like, we can't see anything. It's not like a literal race, and it's not like people are competing against each other. It's not PvP. You're not trying to kill each other. We can't see anything live, obviously. One team is going to use methods that the other one might not have thought of, and vice versa, and people are going to try to sneak in and try to see stuff. Of course, you're not going to want to stream or transmit your stuff because you don't want people stealing your ideas. But as a person who would want to spectate, you can't. You're just kind of waiting around with the other fans of, your favorite guild, just trying to cheer them on, yeah, they're gonna do this, or hey, they were tweeting this, or hey, they were saying this on chat. It kind of sucks. Now, I'm not downplaying the prestige of being world first, and I'm not downplaying the efforts of the hundreds of people that are being part of this race. Thankfully, I only do the news once a week. Otherwise, you're gonna see me reporting every day. It'd be covering the papal conclave, or deciding the Pope. It'd be yes, we're reporting black smoke again. Exciting shit. Anyway, moving on. I did a video earlier about artifact power and whether or not I should bank it, and the short answer is no, do not bank it. I'm gonna pretend that Blizzard took a look at my video and took a statement on it, and then inform players in a forum post as well as a tweet that you just don't want to save your artifact power at all. Basically, any artifact power tokens that you have saved in your banks or your mailboxes or whatever are going to be, well, they're going to be useless after 7.2. People that have commented on my video about being at rank 53 and then just pumping as much artifact power into that as you can, turns out that's going to be a bad idea too. For one thing, I've heard kind of conflicting reports on how you can only put in so much artifact power into your weapon without applying traits into it before it just stops you from adding points anyway. And if anything, according to a Blizzard tweet, any artifact power that is in excess of rank 54 is going to be considered lost. So if there is a way to do it, don't do that either. So hopefully in the next coming weeks, we're going to get some better information, and I'll be happy to report on it then. There's a new PTR build this week, and there hasn't been a whole lot of super revealing information. Probably the most important thing to note at the moment is that there's going to be new Order Hall advancements levels. These new levels are going to cost tens of thousands of Order Hall resources, and while the values might change, I advise you folks to just start saving up a little bit now. Finally, at least as of now, the WoW token to Battle.net Balance Exchange is just not ready to deploy yet. A quick tweet from Ian just indicates that it's going to come at a later time. Not even soon, just later. Congratulations to the Horde for pretty much owning Silithus for the next year. I'm sure the tens of people that are going to visit are bound to celebrate its glory. Next week is looking to be another busy week. I'm pretty happy that I was able to do 5 videos this whole week. I'm going to try to do it again next week too. As always, you can send your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, any of that in a comment below. You can holler at me on Twitter or Facebook, or look at my dog on Instagram. And if you're enjoying the content, subscribe. And if you're not liking the content, well, tell me why. Tell me what I can do to improve. Or if you want to save your thoughts till later, I'm probably going to do a rant next week about how the channel's doing. As for right now, though, I'm heading out for the weekend, and so should you. You guys have a very good weekend. I'm Soul. Stay breezy, guys.